how is everyone doing this evening? Welcome back, welcome back. As you can see, we are in a different room where I usually record the videos. We're a little bit lower because we're trying to figure out the seating arrangement. Ooh, let me mute that. But we wanted it to be a brighter picture, so we figured up here would be a little bit better. Plus there's a fan that doesn't make as much noise as downstairs, so hopefully everybody can hear us.
So you should put your mic on.
Yeah, I don't know how that would work though, so I'm a little nervous about putting the mic attached to the phone, so we'll have to see. But yeah, we are officially 24 days away from our Alaska cruise. We are getting super excited at this point, but it's a little bit of like bittersweetness because like me and Michelle were talking about it earlier. Like she's off for the summer, Rhett's off for the summer, of course, and you know, even though we're really excited about the cruises, you know, we don't want to rush it because then, of course, you know, summer's over because basically the cruise lasts the entire summer, you know, well, the other half of the summer, I guess, is a better understanding. But we are excited. We got our boots in today. Well, you got yours in. Yeah. She ordered a few on Amazon.
A lot.
Yeah. I randomly just like show up at the front door and there's like a stack of boxes, like pretty much taller than Michelle. Most of them are going back though, but I think she's gonna decide to keep on. What was it, 2 that you were looking at?
I think I'm gonna.
Yeah, one was like $15, so as long as she wears them, it'll be worth it, I think. Yeah. So.
We just don't have. I mean, I have rain boots, but they're not comfortable for walking, and I'm hoping to do a lot of hiking in Alaska. I want to find some.
Well, that's the other thing is, like, you want to make sure you wear the hiking boots before you actually need them to make sure they're comfortable and that they don't, you know, leak and your feet don't get wet. So, like, I came home, actually, I forget what I was doing.
Brett went to the doctor.
Oh, yeah, so I took Brett to the doctor yesterday? No, Friday. What's today? Saturday? Yesterday. Yeah. Sorry. This week has been crazy. Actually, Rhett is downstairs at the moment. We're going to be on for an hour this evening. Rhett has a bad ear infection, so he's taking these drops, which he is not happy about. It's been kind of a fight over that, and poor guy is usually pretty good when he's sick. Like, he's still peppy and all of that, but, like, this ear infection has him down. And so anyway, we'll stay on till 8 tonight, and then we're gonna put little man to bed because he needs to catch up on his sleep. He just looks exhausted and he's in pain, so hopefully that medication will start you know, doing wonders. He said it felt a little bit better this morning, so. And he slept late. Like, usually he is up at what, 7?
The latest.
Yeah, and today he slept till like 9:05 or something like that, and we're like, maybe we should check on him because he wasn't moving, and we're like, and the camera that we have in his room, like when he's under the covers, you can't really tell like if he's there or not, so we're like, we don't want to wake him up, but we also want to make sure that he's okay. But eventually, obviously, he moved and everything was good. But I ended up bringing him to the doctor last minute on Friday, and Michelle had already worked out. She has a gym upstairs that she uses, and I was coming home and I was like half expecting her to just, you know, be on the patio or cleaning or whatever, and I hear the treadmill upstairs again, and I'm like, she's working out again? And so she comes downstairs and she's got her little boots on, her hiking boots with her shorts, and I'm like, I'm confused. She was, you know, wearing the boots to make sure that
see if they were comfortable.
Yeah, it was a good idea. You just gotta walk in the rain, apparently. I'm gonna take a sip real quick. So I've got my fancy Horizon mug that we got. It was actually on clearance. I don't know why, but it was, I think it was like
It was like $5.
It was less than $5. It was either 5 or under, and I was like, yes, please. So I ended up getting one. I'm drinking a, Captain. It's actually, what is it, Kirkland brand rum?
Members Mark.
Members Mark. It's actually good. Like, if somebody put this down and Coke and then, like, a Kirkland or whatever Members Mark down in Coke and like it was a blind test, I would have no idea. Like it's like $8 too, so it's good. And then Michelle has her little cruiser that she's drinking. But cheers to everyone. Hopefully you guys are drinking out there, having whatever kind of drink, whether it's alcoholic, non-alcoholic. Let us know in the comment section below what you got going on this evening. But I thought we would talk about a little bit of, the Alaska trip, kind of what our thought process was with the Cheers package, because again, we're going for the back-to-back, so it's really expensive on one, let alone two, so we're trying to figure out what is going to be the right move there, so we'll discuss that a little bit. We also wanted to bring Scuba Steve into the fold this evening, which I've never talked about before. I'll probably do a separate full video on him, but yeah, it's a funny little concept that we've been using this little action figure forever. We'll get into that in a second. And then any questions or comments that anybody has, we'll answer them throughout the live, and we'll just go from there. But hopefully everybody's having a great week. Like I said, it's been a little bit kind of boring and just a rough week because the beginning of the week it was raining a lot and really hot. The heat index in South Carolina reached 110, 112 on certain days. And then, of course, now Rhett is sick, which he's been to the doctor twice this week.
He went Wednesday for a checkup and today because he's sick.
Mm-hmm. So, yeah, he literally got sick a day after his checkup, which is awesome. That's basically our luck. So,
Yeah.
But at least it's just an ear infection, and hopefully he'll be good to go in just another day or two. But let's talk about some of the trip coming up.
Yeah.
You getting excited?
I am.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
It's gonna
long
be
awaited.
Yeah.
Trip.
Well, this is literally, it's going to be over 15 years since we've been on this ship. That's where we met, so it's going to be...
It was my first cruise.
Her very first cruise, so it's going to be
excited.
very, just insanely nostalgia, and I don't even know how we're going to act. It's going to be so weird, being on the ship again, and then, especially with Rhett, after so long, and then, it's also going to be funny because this is the smallest ship that Rhett's been on as well. I think, right? Yeah.
Is it smaller than the Sunshine?
Yes, I believe it is.
So
So
yeah,
Sunshine's
the smallest.
102,000 gross tons. I want to say the Miracle's 90 something. Yeah, because it's the same size as the Pride, so it's 92.
So yeah, it's gonna be the smallest ship he's been on.
Yeah,
So
so
kind of spoiled.
yeah. Well, in the last couple of cruises, it was the Mardi Gras, so we're going from one extreme to. I mean, it's still it's considered a mid-sized cruise ship. It's still a massive cruise ship, of course, but compared to the Mardi Gras, it's gonna feel like we could put it in our pocket. So, which when we go to Alaska, I'm sure we'll see other cruise ships that are ported. I know the Spirit is there. The what's the
that might be wrong. That's I don't know.
I forget. I know there's 2 other Carnival ships, and then of course you have the other cruise brands that will be there as well. So it'll be interesting to see the Miracle besides the other ships in ports. But of course the Miracle's the only ship out of San Francisco, so it'll still look huge in San Francisco Bay. So that'll be really cool. Cannot wait for just seeing it. I haven't even seen. I can't even remember seeing it in a port, in the Caribbean or something. But
I can't wait.
It's weird with the Spirit class ships because they're made, sleeker. They have, I believe, a bigger engine, so they can go faster, and they're meant to basically travel on the open sea. And that's ultimately why. Which I think I told you this, instead of the Costa Magica Carnival ended up grabbing the Costa Luminosa which I cannot say that word correctly. Like, I always have to think about it for a second or two before I actually say it. It's like one of those words that I just can't do. But it took me forever to record. I did 2 videos on that ship, and it took me forever to not mess up. And I'm sure I even did before I put it out. But they ended up grabbing that ship because it was built like a Spirit class ship. So my thinking process is because they needed one ship for Alaska, and then it can switch and do seasonally. Or did I say Alaska or Australia? Alaska. Okay, so it starts in Australia and Brisbane, goes to Alaska, but it can do that, trip because it's just built for that. And then it's got that covered pool, just like the Miracle and those ships, the Spirit, Pride, Legend, all that good stuff. So it's a pretty ship, but I don't know if you've seen the inside of it at all.
We started watching the video, but I don't want to. Like, Rhett wanted to watch the tour of it. Of
Luminosa?
No.
Okay. Yeah, it's no, you're good. It's like the Miracle. It's like that. I forget what the designer or architect, whatever his name is, but it was like the one that did all of the old Carnival ships. And it had like those off-the-wall decorations and colors, and it was like in-your-face stone neon lights, like a whole 9. So it's definitely like one of those ships that like just screams Carnival, even though it's a Costa ship, which of course it falls under the umbrella anyway. So it's still a Carnival Corporation ship, but it's going to be interesting to see. Of course they're going to do the rebrand, the painting, all of that, but they're not going to have time to, I don't think, put the funnel on it and then, give it the venues that you would see on a Carnival ship until later. I think John Heald was saying, they don't have a time frame for dry dock yet. It will get the 2.0 fun features eventually, but they're not exactly sure when that's going to happen at this point. So, but it'll be interesting to see. I saw one other YouTuber do a video tour of the ship, and he literally had to map out how he was gonna do the tour because he's like, the ship this doesn't make sense. Yeah. He's like, hey, and I think he said there was only one pool and the rest was all just open deck space.
Yeah.
And the pool was only 3 feet deep or something like that. That was technically on the Lido deck, which is really weird to have a pool that's only 3 or 3.5 feet deep, whatever it is. That would just come up to my waist basically. So that's interesting. But either way, I'm excited to see what it looks like once Carnival acquires it. I think it's gonna be September when that happens. So it'll be cool. And then I showed you the picture the other day, right, of the car that was coming off.
Yeah.
Of the Ecstasy. I don't know if you guys saw that or not, but the Carnival Ecstasy, of course, is getting scrapped at the end of this year in October, and they started pulling off some of the things that they wanted to keep, specifically the Rolls Royce, I think it is, that has been on display for years and years and years on the Carnival Ecstasy. I think they were saying they were grabbing it and then putting it on the Carnival Celebration, because there are certain parts on the Celebration that are dedicated to Carnival's past. For example, I think the one of the bars has a mural painting or something like that of the Carnival victories, old design, and then I can't remember what else, but there's a lot of different places on the Celebration. One of them is called the Golden Jubilee restaurant or bar, I forget exactly what, but of course that's honoring the Jubilee. And then they have I forget, there's another bar, I think it's either the Festival or Tropical or something cool. like that. So it'll be cool to see the finished product of the Celebration. Of course, they released the final zone, which was really cool. I did a video on that, on all 6 zones on the Celebration, and kind of compared them from the Mardi Gras to the celebration, like the same areas on the ship. So it was neat to see, and I'm really excited to see the final product. Oh my gosh, I did it again. But anyway, so back to Alaska. We're getting there. We have got 24 days. It's 27 until the cruise, but we leave 3 days early. Hopefully we have no problems with flights or anything like that. Just bags, just anything that can go wrong. If something does go wrong, hopefully it goes wrong like right away, and we can just get into it after, hopefully correct anything. But it's a big trip. It's the biggest trip that we've taken with little man, that's for sure. Of course, me and Michelle did Ireland before. That wasn't a cruise, but we did like
that was only like 10 days though.
I don't even think it was 10 days. I was trying to think of that. I think it was maybe like 8-ish days, because that's when I worked as a general manager and for a furniture store, and they wouldn't let me take off like extended periods of time. So it was either 7 or 8 days probably. But we did a trip to Ireland. We rented a car and started in Dublin. Just did a big circle around Southern Ireland. Absolutely amazing. And then the other big trip that we did was the Barcelona Cruise, which was also amazing. But of course, those were without Rhett, so this is going to be interesting. He does pretty good. I mean, in the car, like, of course we're flying there, but it's still going to be about 6+ hours.
Yeah, it was like, what we say, 3.5 hours, and then a 2-hour layover, and then another 3.5 hour flight. And then the way back, we have like the 5 or 6 hour flight, a layover. I don't remember how, and then that short little.
Yeah.
The way back though, we'll sleep. I mean, we'll be so tired.
Yeah, and it's a super early flight, so hopefully we can just get to the airport, hopefully get on the flight, and then just sleep on the way home, because we're just going to be so messed up with the time zones. Of course, we're on the East Coast, so going to the West Coast, 3 hours. You know, we're going to we'll gain 3 hours
coming
there.
Back. No, we lose 3 hours. Yeah, you're right. We go back 3 hours going there. But we get there at 10 o'clock their time, so it's going to be 1 o'clock in the morning our time.
Yeah, so
we're going to get there and sleep.
So even though we say 3 days, it's really only 2, because we're going to get there hopefully on time, and then find the hotel and pass out, and then hopefully start exploring San Francisco on Wednesday, and then
Thursday we have Alcatraz.
Yeah, so
we gave ourselves a day to.
Yeah, just in case we were gonna do it. We were gonna do Alcatraz on Wednesday, but then we're like, well, what if flights get delayed or whatever? If we're just super tired. Yeah.
We did the first ferry. It's 8:30 or 8:45 in the morning. We wanted to. Yeah.
Well, and we thought it would be better with Rhett, like. He's always really spiffy in the morning, so
less people, less.
Yeah.
Get there first.
And
maybe I'm wrong. I don't know.
Alcatraz for him, I'm sure he's gonna enjoy it, but like, there's only so much history and stuff that a 5-year-old can look at before they get bored and antsy. So, but between the ferry ride and the jail cells, hopefully that'll make them last. We'll have to see. But I don't think do we have anything planned for Wednesday at this point?
No, I've been looking into a couple tours to do. I don't know, just kind of want to go to the Golden Gate Bridge.
Yeah.
I want to see that. Maybe, what did we say, ride bikes across it or something, rent bikes or there's a lot of parks out. I don't know, I just want to.
I think we're going to kind of wing it on that Wednesday. Like, there's definitely things that we want to do.
Maybe
that we'll get done.
Tour is what I'm thinking. Like, do one of the walking tours.
Yeah, but there's a lot of stuff that we want to do, and if we do it or when we do it, it's not going to take a large portion of the day. So I think we're just kind of keep Wednesday open, and then Thursday Alcatraz, and then after that we'll still have pretty much the whole day as well. So it'll be a little bit of winging it, but honestly, that's what we did in Ireland basically, and we had an amazing time.
I'm gonna play. There's no winging it. I'm gonna play.
I mean, we didn't have a plan really in Ireland. There were certain points of interest that we wanted to go to.
I had it planned out. You just didn't know it, but I had it. The only thing we didn't have on the itinerary was, I think it was Kilkenny Castle, because we were driving right past it, and we're like, let's just go.
That's right.
But no, we had everything all planned out. Days we were gonna go do what? Yeah,
I was just busy
planned.
driving the entire time.
Yeah.
And like, of course, on Ireland, you're driving on the wrong side of the road, on the wrong side of the car, so it was pretty. It only took about 30 minutes to get used to, and then I was fine. But you were a little antsy, but
only during what was it called, Corkscrew?
Ring of Kerry.
Yeah, but it was Corkscrew Road where it was like.
There was this one point where there was like this one-lane bridge. It had no barriers on the left and right of the bridge, and other cars are coming like both ways, and you just gotta like kind of hang half your tire off the side of the bridge and hope for the best. And then there's other parts where like you're going around and you can't see around the turn, and it's only a one lane, and like it was pretty intense. It was fun though, and I mean, there's so many times where we got lost, and I mean I remember we got like basically not stuck, but like we were trying to find something, and then we ended up like in the middle of some guy's farm area. You remember all the crops?
I do, but I feel like that was just a road. Like I feel like that's
Maybe.
how
I don't know.
how it is out there. Like you're just
There's
a lot of one lane where if another car's coming the other way, you have to like pull off and.
Yeah, it was amazing, and we're going back next
year,
July. I think it's July. We're doing the Carnival Pride. So far, we have 2 cruises booked, and it's Ireland, Scotland, Iceland, and Sweden.
No, they switched it.
It was Russia, wasn't it?
It was Russia, but they switched it.
I can't remember what they switched it to.
Ireland,
we booked it right before the price increases across the board. Of course, the Cheers package went up, and internet and gratuities, and the same Cheers package.
Yeah.
The Cheers package, the Bubbles package.
Everything kind of.
And then all the prices increased too. But we booked it. We actually had a reserve on it, and it was like the Ireland one. I want to say was like $454 per person when we booked it. When we reserved it, and then when we went to book it with our PVP the following day, he said the prices had risen to over $900 per person, but of course because we reserved it, we still got locked in at the old rate, which was insane. It was 24 hours, not even 24 hours, and they increased 100%. Which was absolutely insane, and we did the same with the other one too.
But that's we were watching them for so long, so when we saw the drop, we knew just
to do it, But we also plan on hopefully doing. I think it was the 2 before the Ireland one as well that we were looking at.
I know there's 4 total back to back that we want to do, and that would get us. I don't remember where else it would go. Norway, maybe?
Was it Greece?
I don't think it was Greece.
No.
But doing 4 of them back to back would get us to all different destinations, and that'd be kind of cool to do. Especially again once you're flying all the way over.
Well, the tickets to get because the ship leaves out of London, and so we've never been there either. So I'm sure we're gonna want to
spend a couple days there.
And I mean. Just to get to San Francisco, the flights were crazy.
San Francisco is costing more than the 2 10-day cruises.
Oh, yeah.
Way more in San Francisco we have 4 nights. Because, we still have to book another.
Oh, you mean a hotel? I thought you were
San
talking
Francisco
about the
in
cruises.
total.
Oh.
The flights to get there, the hotels.
Yeah, it's close, probably.
And that's 4 nights.
Yeah. Which is another reason why...
And we haven't been last night. That's just our hotel. That's not even.
We still have to book the last hotel.
We're gonna eat when
and
we're
we
there.
gotta pay. We gotta pay for.
We'll have to Uber when we're there.
And gas prices in California are like $10 a gallon or something crazy like that. Maybe just under 10 at this point, but absolutely insane.
Public transportation. Well, we can ride public transportation.
Trolleys.
The rail car. I want to do the rail car over there.
Well, I think our hotels before the cruise are very close. So, I mean, I'm sure it would be very difficult to walk with all of our bags and stuff, but we'll have to see, like, the distance. Because we're known to walk. I mean, we've walked literally when we were in Nassau on the Adventure of the Seas. We walked after the cruise from Adventure of the Seas to Margaritaville, which it was close, but with all the bags and stuff, we were definitely sweating a little bit. And a 4-year-old at the time. I was definitely ready to drop my luggage once we got to the hotel. And then, like, after the Charleston cruise too, we walked from the ship to the parking lot, which again is not super far, but with everything after the cruise, it's a hike.
Sometimes it's just easier, though. I feel like just to walk than to.
Well, especially with
find a ride.
Especially with Charleston, because you have to get on the shuttle that everybody's waiting for with all their luggage, and
just walk.
It's just a mess. Which I'm super sad about the Charleston port.
That stinks. That really stinks.
Yeah, because if you guys don't know, we live obviously in South Carolina, so Charleston is our home port, and if you're not aware, they didn't renew. Well, the Port of South Carolina in Charleston did not renew a contract with Carnival, but with any cruise line, period. So, of course, that's a year and a half away, so maybe things can change or whatnot, but we know because we've lived in South Carolina for, 10 plus years at this point, the people of Charleston do not want a cruise ship. Well, I can't say the people of Charleston, but certain people in Charleston, the people that, I guess, born and raised in that area, they don't like the cruise ships there, pollution and traffic, and I understand that, but it also brings so much money to the area, and I don't know. I think maybe once they miss that money coming there, maybe they'll rethink the situation, but hopefully Carnival or Royal or whoever, Norwegian MSC, can find a port that's close, whether it's in somewhere else in South Carolina, Wilmington, North Carolina, maybe Savannah. I don't know if those ports can fit a ship. I have no idea. Somebody was saying that, like back in the day, I think, that either Savannah or Wilmington had a cruise line there, but I don't know. I'm not sure. I have no idea if that's actual or just something that somebody made up. But that would still be great. I mean, that's close enough for sure. Because without Charleston, our closest cruise port now is Jacksonville, which they only have the older ships, which is fine. But you like to go on the new every now and then, and like.
Well, I mean, we still only have the.
Well, and the different itineraries too, which is also an issue with Charleston, is like you only go to
the Bahamas,
and then there's like 1 or 2 cruises a year that you get to go to Bermuda, but it's.
I want to go back to Bermuda.
Yeah,
that's on my list.
Bermuda is breathtaking. It is very expensive though. But so once we get to San Francisco, this is gonna be the longest trip that we've ever done. So it's gonna be interesting to see, like. I was talking to Michelle at dinner tonight. I was like, do you think we would be ready to, like, leave after this cruise? Because it's going to be 20 days plus, 4 days in San Francisco, so 24-ish days in total. And 20 of those days is going to be on the Miracle. And it's a much different cruise, too, because, it's not the Caribbean. It's not like Caribbean. Yeah, it's gonna be different crowd, different.
What time's the deck party at? 6:30.
Yeah. It's like
can't wait.
the mega deck party instead of like 10:30.
That's more my time, though. I was on that time.
I'm totally fine with that. I'm on board. Honestly, I'd prefer that in the Caribbean too. But yeah, it's gonna be a much different trip. Like we plan on, obviously, like we were saying, we're not sure about like doing a Cheers package. We were thinking about maybe doing the Cheers package the first.
First leg, the first 10 days.
Yeah, go ahead. I have the hiccups for a second.
But
we were thinking about doing it the first cruise, and then instead of drinking like all 15 of our drinks,
I was just thinking more like the second 10. We're gonna be more tired, more. But I don't know. We have a lot more on the first.
Yeah.
Like we have more excursions booked right now on the first leg. I think we have.
Yeah.
I think we have an excursion at every port except one, maybe.
Yeah. So
we have a busy first week.
And then the other thing is like, obviously you can bring on 2 bottles of wine or whatever, and soda product and water and all that good stuff, a certain amount for each person. But like we were thinking, maybe we just buy it and have it delivered to the cabin, or buying it at port. But I think we have 2 or 3 sea days at the beginning too, so that would be rough as well. Plus it's a U.S. port, so I just don't think that would work smoothly or as smooth as I think it would. So there's a lot of questions that we need to figure out, and we only have a little bit of time to do so we're getting down there to the nitty-gritty. We're gonna start actually packing soon, just because again it's a different trip. Like one day well, yeah, you have. She's been trying on clothes and outfits.
I've got a section in my closet of stuff that I'm gonna put in the. I'm putting it in the corner where I'm gonna pack that stuff. So I don't.
Again, like San Francisco, I heard like during the day it's beautiful. At night it gets cold, and then
it's chilly during the day too.
Oh, is it?
You always bring a jacket with you.
Yeah.
And you always bring a raincoat in San Francisco.
Yeah.
Well, I think it gets foggy. It doesn't rain as much.
Yeah.
It's gonna be a weird.
And then like we've obviously been following other guests that have been going to Alaska since it opened, and one day it's 75 in Alaska, and the next cruise it's 55, same location. So it's like, and 55 doesn't sound cold, but for us that would be cold. I mean,
that's winter jacket.
Today,
that's a winter jacket.
Today in South Carolina it was 108 or 9 degrees. Well, heat index 108 degrees. So I think real temperature was like 90, whatever, 92 or something like that. But I mean, 55 is cold. Like we do fires in our little bonfire in the backyard at like 65.
60,
yeah. So I mean,
60 and below is bonfire weather.
Yeah. And we're all huddled around the fire, like freezing. It's sad.
No, it is.
It's a little sad, but it's okay. I like it. But it's gonna be a lot.
We have our flip flops on. We just have a fire pit going.
Yeah, exactly. But it's gonna be a lot different trip. I mean, we plan on enjoying just like looking and watching the sea, and hopefully seeing some glaciers, some wildlife. I mean, again, like the crowd's going to be a lot different. I would imagine, it's going to be a little bit older crowd, which is absolutely fine, but it's just a different feel for a cruise than we're used to. Yeah,
laid back.
But that's the same thing. Like I was saying, our previous longest cruise was 14 days, so it's going to be an extra week basically. And on any cruise that we go that's longer than like 7 days, it always is a different crowd.
Hey, buddy.
You gonna say hi?
Hey.
How you feeling? Thumbs up or thumbs down? Hey, thumbs up. How you doing? Do you need anything?
Good.
Yeah.
I was just saying you guys did a great job.
Oh, thanks,
buddy.
Bogey. You're doing a great job too. I love you.
Love you.
All right. We'll see you in a little bit, okay?
Okay.
So cute.
See you later, alligators.
See you in a while, crocodile. even when he's sick, he's just so bubbly for
Yeah.
the most part. When I'm sick, I'm like crying like a baby. You're not supposed to shake your head and agree. Anyway, but yeah, so I was saying, like, anytime it's over 7 days, it's always a different crowd. Like, it's not as much party people. Like, the shorter the cruise, the crazier.
Oh, the 4-day
it is.
cruises are like.
Yeah, you remember when we did? It was Sunshine out of
Sunshine,
Charleston, out of Charleston, and I think it was like Memorial Day or something. One
We've
of those.
gone Memorial Day, but we just went in January recently.
Well, yeah, that one was pretty intense too. But I was talking about when we
went Memorial Day
with a
that
D,
was.
and it was just insane.
Oh, yeah.
I think people were drunk from like 4 hours before the cruise started till like 5 hours after the cruise ended. It was absolutely wild. Which we've talked to a lot of employees too, like the crew, and they always say like they want the longer cruises because it's so much easier on them. And like it makes sense because obviously like nobody's gonna party and drink constantly for however like 7, 8, 9, 10, whatever days. So the longer it goes on, like people kind of get more into a routine of like working out and trying to rest up.
We'll
And
only work out the first day.
well, yeah.
First day, everyone's there, and then the rest.
That's like New Year's. It's like
The rest of the week, nobody's
everyone
there.
has these grand schemes of working out for the entire year. Everyone rushes into the gym, and then like after January 28th, it's like it's back to like the regulars basically. That's how the gyms make all their money. Like that's how they stay in business, is just from like New Year's revolutions. But yeah, it's gonna be interesting to see. But I'm excited. I don't want to rush it. We've been looking for this forward to this trip since before the pandemic because we had it booked once before.
2020.
So,
It was June of 2020.
but we've always wanted to go to Alaska, and hopefully we're finally gonna go. So excited. But let's talk about our buddy Scuba Steve for a second. Do you have him?
He's right on the white box.
So he's in pretty much every one of our videos. Like I said, I'll probably do a full video on him at some point in the near future because we have so many pictures with him. Not really videos, just lots of pictures. And so this is a toy. This isn't the original. This is the second Scuba Steve.
Second or third? I don't know.
There's
Is
three
it
of
the
them.
second or the third?
There's 3 of them all together. So basically the story of this goes, we found an action figure on a cruise.
This same exact one.
Yeah, it's just
It's the
that's
same
not
one.
the OG
He's
one.
the right.
Yeah, it's the same model.
Yeah.
But we found a toy that looks exactly like this on the...
In a pool in Florida.
Okay.
At the pool in. I can't.
Outside of Sarasota. Bradenton? Is that it?
Bradenton, outside of, I think Sarasota, you're right.
Yeah.
Somewhere in Florida.
So, and we were trying to figure out, obviously it belonged to a kid, I would imagine, otherwise they're crazy like us and they have an action figure toy. But never found the person.
Nobody else was there.
Yeah, nobody was there, and when we were asking, like, if there was a lost and found, nobody claimed him. So anyway, he came back with us. We're there with our friends who we met on a cruise ship back in, I don't know, 2009, 10, somewhere around there.
I think 2009 we met them and we found Scuba Steve, I think 2010.
Okay.
I want to say.
So anyway, we met our real close friends on a cruise, vacationed with them quite a bit up to that point, and then since then we've done cruises, all-inclusives, getaway weekends. We've visited their house, they've come to our house, and so on and so forth. And we were always wanting to get together. Actually, we've been trying to get Ryan to move to our area. His wife is all for it, so eventually it's going to happen. He just doesn't know it yet. But anyway, when we're always booking, like looking to book vacations, and we're always talking back and forth, and like sometimes it just doesn't work out with jobs or whatnot. But we're always like thinking about the other party to see if they can do it. So if they can't do it, this is where Scuba Steve comes into play. So he is basically like represents the other party if they're not able to make it. And so they have a Scuba Steve, we have a Scuba Steve. Back in the day, though, we would pass him back and forth because we only had one of them at that point. And so if they were going on a vacation, they would bring Scuba Steve along with them. They would take pictures with them throughout the vacation. It's almost like, what's that thing like where you cut out like the person's head.
Like the flat person.
Like the flat person back in the day, where like if that person couldn't make it for whatever reason, they got sick or whatever, they couldn't get off work, you would make just a enlarged printout of that person's head, put it on like a stick or whatever, and like carry it along the entire trip with you. Well, this is kind of the same concept, except for he's a lot smaller, and we can kind of set him up in different like situations and stuff like that. So we have some amazing pictures over the years. Like I said, we've been doing this for 10 plus years at this point. It's a little ridiculous. He has his own Facebook group, which now Ryan actually uses as his own like personal friend or personal profile. But he's traveled everywhere. I mean, he's gone to Europe, Caribbean. He'll come to Alaska with us. I mean, I don't even know. One day we'll have to like sit down, write out like all the places he's been, and then like try to associate pictures with it. But it's just a cool concept because like you bring them along and like you're thinking about the other party and like what they would want to do in that situation, and you kind of put them in those different positions and stuff. So it's just been just an ongoing thing, and we'll continue it for as long as we forever.
As long as we have them.
Yeah.
And then we'll just buy new ones when we lose these again.
Yeah. And I mean, honestly, I think it's a great idea for like anybody. Like if you have a family member or something that maybe doesn't like to travel or get scared or something, like bring something along that reminds you of that person and take pictures with it. And like, I mean, it could be used in a lot of different instances, but I don't know, we have so much fun with it. So
we look a little crazy taking pictures of an action doing.
He was on our wedding cake at one point, which I'll have to post that picture sometime in the near future. But he was literally like our wedding topper in Cozumel at one point. Well, not.
We had an actual wedding topper.
I should clarify that a little bit.
But he did make it to the top of the cake. He did.
So there's literally been vacations that we've been on where we have more pictures of Scuba Steve than like anybody else. So it's a little sad, but it's a good time. So that's the story about Scuba Steve. And if you ever see us on a cruise and we don't have him, you should yell at us. But we'll probably end up whipping him out. It's usually in Michelle's bag that she carries along.
But sometimes we forget.
There has been a vacation or two that we forgot him.
But now he's on my list. He's on my packing list.
Yeah, Michelle's real good about like writing out everything that she needs and then like crossing it. But you've been doing it on your
now it's just a note on my phone,
right?
and I put a check mark, and then when that cruise is done, I delete all the check marks for the next one. So my whole packing list is just on my phone.
It's good. It's just the list gets larger and larger every time we cruise, but this list.
And there's a separate one for Alaska now.
This one's gonna be. I don't know how we're gonna do it with like the bags and stuff, but we'll figure it out. Luckily, we have
free bags. We have a free check bag and a free carry-on.
Yeah, because we have the American Airlines
with the
credit card that offers the free bags, but it's like.
But we only have 2 people that actually carry bags.
Yeah.
We have a little one who carries his
one of these days
suitcase as he feels like it.
Yeah.
his
tiny one. And he fits so much stuff into
which is packed already. It's been packed for about a month. He's got toys, books,
literally
pajamas.
the day we told him about it, he started packing, and I was like...
And he does. And he hasn't taken anything out of it. It's packed and it's ready for vacation.
He's so silly.
He has pajamas and some clothes. I mean, he did good.
It's his runaway suitcase too. Oh, it's gonna be so exciting though. But yeah, we have that American Airlines card. The only problem is that they do charge an annual fee, but
it pays for itself.
yeah, because we travel so much. Well, this last 8 months or so, we haven't used a plane, but it'll pay for itself this year with just Alaska, so that'll be good.
It's paid for itself every year that we've had it.
Yeah, we've only had it, what,
A couple of years. We got it in like
2 or 3 years.
2020, I think, or
Yeah.
2019.
Yeah. Of course we did, right?
Yeah, but it's still, I mean, we've done it one trip a year and it pays for itself in bags.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. I want to get back to Nassau, though, at some point, which is weird to say, because, like, every time we've gone to Nassau, we typically don't get off, but I want to see the new Margaritaville
I want to go to
completed
I do.
product, because we did Adventure of the Seas last July, and when we went to the resort, it was only like half done-ish. I think half done is being generous, but maybe
there was
like 40%.
one building was done.
Yeah.
We didn't get a lot of the amenities. None of the amenities were.
Yeah, they didn't have any real.
None of the water park amenities that they
Yeah.
advertised.
Like the bars, the pools, the restaurants, minus the steakhouse, which was extremely expensive. We ended up eating, and they had like a bakery or something, but they had like sandwiches and flatbreads and stuff.
Yeah, flatbreads.
And then like they had no bars on site. You could buy like cans of beer at the bakery, but it was insanely priced.
You go across the street to
the corner store.
The liquor store, or
yeah. So we went there like twice or 3 times and ended up buying. You could only buy single cans though, so we kept like.
Yeah, it was like a make your own 6-pack.
Yeah,
but
so
it's like the same.
It's the same.
The beer
brand. I can't remember the brands at this point. I was trying to think of it, but yeah, we would. I think we went twice or maybe even 3 times, but it was way better than buying it at the bakery. That's for sure.
Oh yeah.
But now they have like the pizza place that's open. They have, of course, bars on site. They have. What was that other restaurant that was gonna open?
Which one? Pizza, like the actual pizza place.
Yeah.
And then the steakhouse and the deli. I don't know.
But the main thing was like the waterwork area, the lazy river, the pool, the extra pools, and the entire second building with all of like the souvenir shops and everything. But I just want to go there for the day, honestly. But the resort itself was absolutely gorgeous. I mean, it was the best resort I've ever stayed at. I mean, it was, like I said, it just opened probably a month before we got there, so it smelled just brand new. And then, like, the rooms, the second room was even better than the first, and the first was amazing. I mean, insanely large balcony. I mean, you could fit 20 people out on the balcony. Well, the first one was good, too.
Yeah, it was.
And then, I mean, the beds were comfortable. The showers were amazing. The views from the balcony were great. You could see the cruise ships coming in and out of the port all day long. Of course, you have the ocean right there, the beach, the pool. I mean, the grounds were amazing. They have, like, their dock that they use for different yachts and boats that come in and out. You have the lighthouse in the distance. I mean, it was thundering the one night we were there. It was just absolutely amazing. So I want to go back. I want to see the finished product. Product. I said it right, finally. I just want to see, because I know there are other Margaritaville resorts too.
Yeah. Like
around the world, so like I'd be interested in even going to a different one at some point if it's like, you know, the same product. Yeah. But I did hear that you heard this, right? The Margaritaville like cruise line or whatever that they created.
I have not.
Oh yeah, so they took I forget what the previous line was, but they took a ship that was like 25 years old or something like that. It's a smaller cruise ship. I forget like the gross tons or the length or anything, but smaller ship. They only do like 2 or 3 days. Typically, it just goes to Grand Bahama or whatever. But they took the older ship and they put all Margaritaville concepts into the ship. So they have like obviously the music. They have like this Storytime Margaritaville show that they do.
Cool.
They have all the colors of Margaritaville brand. They have like the restaurants that you would find at the resort on the ship. So they have, I forget what like the pizza place is called, but they have like the steakhouse, the pizza place, and then the bakery. That's all on the ship. But the people that have been on the ship thus far, it's been like kind of not the greatest from what I've heard anyway. It's just like they, of course they put in all these millions of dollars of renovations, but at the end of the day it's still, you know, 25-year-old plus ship, and they put it all into like the main areas, but there's still other areas that like you can obviously tell, you know, they didn't touch or whatnot. So it would be interesting to see like the ship though at port. I don't think I'd be interested in going on it. What I would be interested in is if like it doesn't work out, like if one of the major cruise line players could like include the Margaritaville concept onto their ship. So like whether it's again like Royal, Carnival, whoever, like instead of Margaritaville as a brand creating their own cruise line, just have their brand come to life in one area of the ship. Like for instance, like Summer Landing, they can make that an entire Margaritaville themed area. I think that would be really cool. You know, they could have Margaritaville like style bands playing all day. They can have like, you know, instead of the Summer Landing, they can call it whatever, like one of their slogans to one of their songs or whatnot, like 5 o'clock somewhere or something.
Yeah, something
Well,
like
that would
that'd
probably
be
be
cool.
a bar or something like that.
Yeah.
But I think that would be really cool. And it sounds like, unless they can, you know, change it up quickly, it sounds like it's probably not going to work very long. And it's only like 2 or 3 day cruises, and they're very pricey. So it's like, it's hard to do, especially in this climate where people travel to Bahamas to go on a 3-night cruise and then be disappointed. I would imagine that would be not work for that long, but we'll see. Hopefully the best, but I think it would be cool if one of the major players could just snatch them up. Kind of like, I mean, they do it with Guy Fieri, and now they have, you know, Shaquille O'Neal's joined, and Emerald's restaurant, and I'm sure I'm forgetting others, but off the top of my head. But yeah, I think that would be cool. But yeah, anyway, I think we're gonna go ahead and end it here. We gotta put little man to sleep. He had his drops. We gotta give him some Tylenol, so we wanted to get him down by 8 o'clock. But thank you so much for joining us this evening. Hopefully we'll see you right back here in the next video or on a cruise ship one day. Catch you later. Oh, I forgot. I always forget.